Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of Pop Talks. Thank you all for coming back. I am Andy Foreman,
I'm Jason Cox.
and today we are sitting here with a very special guest. He also works at JPM Comics in beautiful Glendora, California, across from the Donut Man. Want to introduce yourself?
My name's Gabriel Marquez.
And you also work here with us, correct?
Yes, I also
Welcome,
work here.
Gabriel. It's a pleasure to meet you for the very first time.
Yes.
You can't see, but I'm shaking Jason's hand.
We're shaking
Yeah.
hands.
And we're
And-
shaking hands.
Yeah. We need to lock the door next time we record this thing.
Yeah, he just wandered in, and I was like, "Hey, want a job?"
I overheard their conversation the other day. Saying we're going to be recording. And I was just knocking on the door for an hour.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you were hiding somewhere in the back issues, and
I
you
was
just
hiding
popped
behind the
out when
back
I
is-
opened the door.
I was
like,
hiding behind the Iron Man stand-up.
Yes, yeah, in the exact same pose. Yeah.
And we were too nice to say no, correct?
I mean, yeah, I saw you there, but I didn't want to say anything. I don't want to
I
embarrass
thought it was
you.
because I was making the sound effects of Iron Man.
What sound effects? Yeah.
I thought it was just
I am Iron Man.
I thought it was just liquor bottles opening.
Yeah, empty bottles. Rolling
Broken
around.
dreams.
My dad didn't love me.
Yeah, I pee in my suit
I
all
pee
the
in my
time.
That was considered a joke in this movie.
Spider-Man didn't want to join the Avengers.
It doesn't
Oh.
actually absorb pee or anything. It just smells of my pee.
It's just running down my leg.
It's all right.
This thing is getting rusted.
Is it a little flap opens up by his foot? He just kind of
It
shakes
just
it out.
leaks out.
Yeah.
I feel like that would gum
It's
up
like
the
the
works or
scene from
something.
Transformers when Bumblebee just pops open his crotch area.
Oh,
And it does the same thing with Iron Man.
inappropriate. Now we have to tack on the
I'm sorry.
mature listeners. No, I meant it was inappropriate in the movie. I'm not saying
Oh,
what you said was
okay.
inappropriate.
Start the episode over again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll fix it in post.
This
We'll fix it in
podcast
post.
is over.
Yeah.
And by fix it in post, I'm not going to do anything.
I mean,
just
we're
so you
gonna
know.
put it in the trash bin.
All
We're
right.
just gonna re-upload episode 3, but without Gabriel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're just
you're
gonna
gonna cut
delete
it.
all of your audio portions. It's gonna be really well put together.
It's going to be a 20-minute episode.
It'll be like Garfield without Garfield.
Garfield, without Garfield.
But we were thinking for this episode, we could choose two movies, both from our childhoods, one that holds up and one that very much does not hold up. So we each have our movies ready to go and our jokes prepared.
Yeah. And before we start, I want to mention that stay tuned to the end of the episode because we're gonna have a little trivia battle between Andy and Gabriel because there's nothing that gets better workmanship out of people at work than competition.
Then
So-
pitting them against each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank
Putting
you.
them in direct competition against each other. It will be winner take all, meaning all the job hours, and one of them will be fired
I
tonight.
was gonna ask
so
if there's a prize or
that
not.
is the prize: is you get to still work.
I can
here.
still get to work here?
Yeah, you'll be.
It's okay.
promptly
We both
fired.
have backups.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're not the only pie you're dipping your thumb into.
Oh
That is getting edited out.
That's-
no.
But yeah. So we are gonna start with the movies that do not hold up.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to go, or shall I just start it off?
We can just go in a little triangle or like.
our formation, right? We can do
Yeah.
a round table, as it were.
Or
go
the way that we
around the
introduced
table.
ourselves or something.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want me to go first then?
Yeah.
Do you care?
We'll
Okay.
go counterclockwise.
So this is a movie from my childhood that I don't know which way clockwise is.
Oh yeah, it'll be this way.
Dude, I don't know how to read old people clocks.
I'm talking. I'd have to look down to see which way is clockwise.
What? Stop.
I'm kidding.
Anyways, Andy can go first.
All
that's
right,
fine.
I will be going first. This is from my childhood. I semi-enjoyed it when I was a kid, so that counts as not holding up.
But this is the one that doesn't hold up, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is what
Okay.
does not hold up. This because of the season, I have rewatched it recently. I can attest that it does not hold up. More so, I can attest that it also gave me lots of nightmares as a child.
Mm.
This is Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Mm.
Everybody loved this movie that is of my generation. They're all
I love that.
there's a
movie.
lot of people that are like, "Oh, it's a Christmas classic. It's up there. It is one of the most terrifying films ever put out there."
Yeah.
Especially when he's like a baby.
Oh my god, the baby is the
There's a
creepiest
baby
thing.
Grinch in it?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's like I
It's like his
believe it's
origin story.
animatronic,
Okay.
and it eats a
I
plate.
believe that.
You
Okay.
remember that? Have you seen it?
I don't think I've
Even the
seen
Who's look
parts of
pretty
it.
scary.
Yeah, the Who's, well, because it's like, I think it's,
Oh yeah, because they got
Their
those like weird,
noses?
yeah, the weird
Yeah.
mole faces, and
they have like weird button noses, and they have
Yeah.
like Jeffrey Tambor and Clint Howard with weird button nose
Oh
faces.
well, yeah. I mean, Clint Howard is kind of scary enough. So.
But then add a button to his nose, and it's like my brain can't handle it as a child.
Weird like chud mole people that are coming up from underground.
I mean, we don't really know where Whoville is. It could be like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, in Russia.
But
I didn't
smells a
detect
lot-
any Russian accents in the
It
few
smells a
bits of
lot
that
in
movie I've
Russia,
seen.
no?
So it does.
Yeah.
Hey, smells
It's
a lot in Russia, no?
Yeah, it's,
There is Grinch in Russia.
You're trying to
It's an
tell us something,
option.
Gabriel? You're secretly like
it's our option.
it's the. I mean it snows in Russia, pretty sure. Moscow.
Snows in a lot of places.
Oh yes.
This whole movie is wrong. It's,
In
like from
what
the
way?
start, I've watched it recently, and it's not for children. There's actual moments that are set up in horror film ways, where like
yeah.
Cindy Lou Who will walk in a room and the Grinch is like hiding on the ceiling from her, and it's playing horror movie music.
Oh,
and-
it's kind of like that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm like, I thought I was watching the Grinch, not the fucking Babadook. Like, this is creepy.
Little did you know. Well, I've heard similar things about Cat in the Hat. With
I know,
Mike
but
Myers.
that
I
didn't
love
hold
that
up as a
movie.
child.
Mm.
As a
Oh, I
child,
should
that
talk
didn't
about
hold up.
movie. Can I change
You
my?
still can. You haven't even.
You
done
can
yet.
change it.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want to talk about that movie, go ahead.
That's a good.
You haven't. Yeah, you haven't locked the chevrons on that yet. You
Okay.
can still pull out.
But first off, this movie has a lot of like adult humor in it.
It
Like it'll
does.
have like Who's like dating, which I didn't realize that dating was a part of Dr. Seuss. And I'm not like saying dating is super adult, but they're like, there's a part where it has like a bunch of Who teenagers climbing up to the Grinch's like cave,
That's right.
and like presumably to have sex up there. I'm assuming.
Why are you suing?
Because who else would climb up to a room?
One
Oh,
of the-
are they climbing up on a string of condoms, and that's what they used as like their grappling hook
Who's
to
don't
get up
use
into the...
condoms?
They went up
What?
there. They went up there.
Why do you think there's so many of them?
How do they avoid contracting herpes
Boom.
or gonorrhea?
You're giving me a lot to edit
They-
out.
They went up there for the sole purpose just to knock on his door, right?
Yeah, but they're like, there's like pretty or presumably pretty Who's. They're fucking scary.
And she's super flirty.
Yeah, but
I
she's
remember
like,
that.
it's like, go on up there. What are you, chicken? Go on, knock up on the door and stuff, and go up and knock on the door of the Grinch or whatever.
Mm.
They treat it like, I mean, he's like this like mythic.
Yeah,
thing
it's a scary old guy in the haunted house or whatever.
He's like
No,
a-
I know,
like
but
a
it's.
myth, like a legend or something.
like a Legend of Tomorrow.
But there are
Yeah.
parts where. But he's an actually bad guy. I mean, I know the Grinch is a bad guy, but he's like a potential murderer. Like Cindy Lou Who will fall into like a vat of presents, and there's going to be like a crusher that's going to crush
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
and he'll have to think about whether he's going to save her or not. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? This
guys-
is in a children's
Are you
movie?
guys like familiar with the source material though? Like, if
No,
you
but
read
he
the
doesn't
books or
try and-
seen the animated thing.
He doesn't try and
before?
kill people in the.
Well, no, I mean they had to pad it with like an extra 74 minutes or whatever. So it's.
So murder, the Grinch murdering people.
I
and-
mean, near murder. Alleged
That reminds me.
potential murder is not murder.
That reminds me of when you said the teenagers.
yeah, yeah.
There's also that super flirty adult woman who's like the girlfriend of the mayor.
Yeah.
And all she does is just dress like super.
There's a part.
Like, I don't want to say slutty, but
It's slutty for a Dr. Seuss adaptation.
yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, for a kids movie, it's
It's a-
definitely more forward than you want
Yeah.
kids to see, probably.
I saw this thing when I
Oh,
was
she
3.
falls in love with the Grinch. I remember
Oh yeah.
I saw this when it came out, and it terrified me. It's a dark movie, not story dark, but visually dark.
Visually, it's hard to see what's going on.
It
'cause
looks
it's so
like it
dark.
was shot in a tent.
Yeah.
It's really just everything about this movie is wrong, and they have
that.
they
Especially in the Grinch's house, it's really dark in
yeah
there.
you can't see shit,
Yeah.
and then they have all this like amazing makeup. I mean, it is amazing makeup that they put on Jim Carrey and stuff, and the set designs are very much out of Dr. Seuss, but it feels like a parody almost. It feels like something that would be in front of Tropic Thunder or
Sure,
whatever.
yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like, what if the Grinch was a murderer or a potential murderer?
Starring Ben Stiller.
Yeah, starring Jim. But you could even have the Jim Carrey in there and have it fit into that Tropic Thunder mold,
Yeah.
and have it be like the Grinch is a murderer and there's
Yeah.
a girl that wants to fuck you.
What?
Because there's the one that's interested in him.
Yeah,
You know?
the
And-
Wayne Meyer's girlfriend. I
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mayor's girlfriend, in addition to his wife, though, right? Because it's an
He's a
elected
mayor,
official.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diamond Joe Quimby.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you gonna go on to yours?
Yeah.
Is
Did you
yours?
settle on which one yours
Yeah.
Let's
is?
go with
Gabriel?
Jason first.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so-
you fucked up the whole clock thing.
Yeah, right.
True.
Well, now we're just going clockwise, but we started with you, so
All right.
and we'll just continue to see how much more we can discombobulate this whole system
See how
that we're
much I
trying
can
to work with.
fuck up you guys' podcast.
Yeah, you're just a monkey wrench in our gears, man. Like our gears of perfect,
Podcasting skills.
and engineering.
Like I said, you should have locked the door. Anyway.
So the movie that I enjoyed as a kid that I also recently found out doesn't really hold up was An American Tail, Five Will Goes West, and that is the sequel to An American Tail, the first one. They didn't have to call it the first one when it came out because there wasn't a sequel. We didn't expect a sequel. It's not a series of movies.
It
but
has
it's just,
multiple sequels too.
dude, there's it's one of those that
There's like
MGM
4 or
just
5.
they just
I'm
cranked
Googling
them out.
it right now.
Yeah,
Because
it's like-
I've never seen this.
There's
You ever
probably
seen the first one?
No.
there's gotta be at
Like-
least my
He's Russian.
he is, yes,
Like
he
the
is.
Grinch.
He is Russian like the Grinch. Grinch.
My love.
Das Vidanya, Grinch.
Do they drink vodka in those movies?
Yes, lots of vodka,
Well, they are Russian.
bread.
There's a big fat cat too.
Yes, yeah.
There's
yes.
a whole franchise for this shit?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did like at least 5. They probably did more like 7 or 8.
There's one where he's
Right.
in New York. Was that the first one? He goes to New York.
The first one, yeah. So the first one, he and his family, they immigrant. They
They're-
immigrant. They
It's an
immigrate
immigrant
to
story,
to the U.S. And as they're coming across on the boat, Fievel goes overboard, and they think that he's dead. And so his family's like trying to settle
First
in. And,
thought for any
yeah.
situation.
Well, I mean, he went overboard and he didn't come back, so it's fine. I mean,
He goes overboard. Well,
Well, that's
we
it.
lost one.
Guess we lost
So
one,
yeah, so for the rest of the movie, he's having like this whole Oliver Twist style adventure, and his family's just kind of trying to get over the loss of their son. And he's got I think 2 siblings too, so they're like the whole family is all brokenhearted over it. And he's discovering the American dream through like being homeless and without a family and basically an orphan or whatever.
American Dreams is abandoning your family.
Yeah,
It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Isn't it the dream of every American?
That's
to
my
escape
dream
the-
right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Emancipation.
He accidentally.
Yeah,
fell off
right.
the boat.
Yeah. He actually was planning it the whole time.
He dove off. He burned another. What is he? A mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Okay,
mouse.
he burned another mouse's body to
I mean,
make
his
it
name
look
is
like he died.
Mouskowitz, so I'm pretty sure that he's a
It's pretty
mouse.
common.
Yeah. I think they were Russian.
I think they were.
Yeah. Or at
It's
least they
just
might
on
have been.
demand for
Either
me.
it's that or anyways, it's not that important. So the first one is really good. It's very well made,
Yeah.
and Steven Spielberg's executive producer on it, and it
What was
was
the cat's
done
name?
really well. In the first one,
The first one. Well, isn't the cat in the second one too?
there is a cat in the second one. In the second one, in Five Will Goes West, he's called Caterwall. But in the first one, the cat is actually posing as a rat, which doesn't really make sense if you think about like the size difference
And he's
between
super fat.
any cat. No, the fat cat. The fat cat you're thinking of is played by Dom DeLuise. That's Tiger, and he actually befriends Fievel in the first one.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
I don't know if I'm not sure if Dom DeLuise played him in the first one, but definitely in the second one, I think. I could be getting it mixed up. Anyways, Fievel Goes West. They're living in New York, and it's like, it's overcrowded. It's dirty and gross here. We want to move out west where the air is free and dusty and there's tumbleweeds or whatever. So they go there, and the whole time Fievel is like fantasizing about how the Wild West and cowboys and stuff like that. But yeah, it recently came up on Netflix like sometime earlier this year.
You
And I
know,
was
they,
like,
have they have all of them on demand.
yeah.
For me.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh, awesome! I'll check these out again. So rewatched the first one. I was like, yeah, that's fine. About as good as I remember it. But yeah, the second one was it was really clear that they were just making it for like more money, not to like develop an ongoing story or to
Well,
flesh
the
out
other ones are
characters or anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Develop
What
an
the later
ongoing
ones are called.
story. The saga of Fievel.
Hey man, I mean the
Moskovitz.
story for somebody who's a fan of Superman, I think you can appreciate the story of an immigrant coming to a new and different land and
No,
making
I
it his
just-
own
Superman has
stuff.
powers.
No, I'm not talking about the story itself.
Five has the power to warm your heart.
I'm not talking about the story itself. I'm talking about these like cheap '90s direct-to-video
Right,
animated movies.
exactly,
I
yeah.
love that that's considered a saga.
Yeah.
It's technically considered.
As far as MGM is concerned, yeah. So yeah, because they
so
did this,
Beethoven is a saga.
yeah, right, and Air Bud, those are also.
What's the one with the kung fu? The monkey that does kung fu, Funky Monkey or something.
Oh, I know what
Monkey.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
are thinking of Kung Fu Panda, and it is an actual saga.
Well, that is
It is a
that's
monkey.
an epic trilogy. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so they did like 9 of these movies, and yeah, all of them went straight to video cassette because that's how old this franchise is or whatever. But yeah, the second one I was kind of hoping it would be close to the same quality as An American Tail, and obviously I still I saw the parts that I remembered, and it was really weird to rewatch it because it was like, holy shit, I still remember a lot of like direct quotes from this movie. But yeah, it was just kind of a slight disappointment to realize that this doesn't hold up now that I'm
looks like there's
20 years
4 of
older.
them in a TV series.
They did a TV
Yeah,
series?
so the first one is American Tail. The one you're talking about is Five Goes West.
Yeah.
Then there was a straight to video, The Treasure of Manhattan Island. So I guess they go back
to New York
because they hated it so much.
Yeah, like deserts suck. Let's go back to urban area.
Saga comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
there's
they didn't go
another
back to
straight to
Russia,
video called The Mystery of the Night Monster. So
That's nice and vague.
Yeah.
The Mystery of the Night Monster. It could take place anywhere, but probably in America.
And then there was in 1992. There was Five American Tales.
Okay,
So
and
I
that was
guess
the series.
Yeah,
The TV series?
It says TV series. It doesn't say what year it ended, so
It's
I'm
still
assuming
it's
it's
still
still
going.
on.
Yeah, it's still out there.
on PBS.
I'm gonna Bing it later and find out what streaming service I can use to.
Oh, 25 years of it.
Yeah, It's like, man, this just keeps getting better, and I'm learning a little bit of Russian.
As a grown ass man, you're gonna watch 25 years of this. You're gonna watch pretty much your lifespan of this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna spend that much time watching.
You're gonna come back with a big old beard.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell like what administration is in office and stuff.
Jason, we haven't
like,
seen you in years.
Yeah.
I've been watching Five American Tales.
My beard's just down to like my navel. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys?
It's like Castaway.
I have no vitamin D.
Get all skinny and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen light in 10 years.
Christian Bale and the Machinist.
But I have watched Fievel's American Tales.
All of it.
The whole thing. I know the entire story. Then you find out there's a tie-in comic, and you're
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
What's that stack of papers, Jason? Oh, that's my fan fiction. I've continued writing the series since it's, kind of on hiatus right now.
We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
I got some people online who are very interested.
Very interested.
Next episode, we talk about Jason's fan fiction of American Tail.
Yeah. I'm sure I could, I could throw something together real quick. Let's see.
It's not that hard.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just do American Tail, The Next Generation, where like he settled down with a nice Irish girl or
American
something and
Tales.
had kids. Yeah, American Tales.
Is this the one where they have to go back to Russia because
they hated it so much.
What? No, actually, it turns out that the real reason they left Russia was that Fievel's dad committed these horrible war crimes, and he's still alive. So
I don't feel bad for them.
Yeah, so he gets extradited back to Russia, and the whole family goes to show support while he's answering for these horrible war
so
crimes.
he's on trial with like the United Nations.
Yeah, exactly.
The people versus Fievel's dad.
Yeah, the
Fievel's dad.
Yeah.
Well, would it be the people or the world versus
The
Fievel?
The world.
Well, because it's crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
Or at least mouse.
So I guess technically it would be humanity versus.
You
Mr.
all love the
Moskowitz.
people versus O.J. Simpson. Now here comes an even thrilling story about a cartoon mouse's father.
With Cuba Gooding Jr. as Mr. Moskowitz.
Mr. Moskowitz. You thought you could escape these crimes?
Yeah, and let's see, who can we get? Haley Joel Osment as Fievel Moskowitz.
An actual tiger as Tiger.
An actual tiger as Tiger.
There's just actual roars
Yeah.
throughout.
And 50 Cent as the judge.
With the whole thing's cartoon, but 50 Cent's not.
What?
He just green screened onto there.
I mean,
Oh, can we get to his execution? Because he's eventually going to be found guilty for these war crimes.
Usually, if you have war crimes, you're usually guilty about them.
Yeah.
They typically don't bring you up on war crimes if you haven't done something.
Yeah, they
wrong.
usually have a pretty solid case. I don't think they
So
trifle
he's
with
gonna get
frivolous
executed.
war
Is it
crime
gonna be?
lawsuits.
Is it gonna be the gas chamber,
Oh my god.
or is it gonna be lethal injection,
Injection.
or is it gonna be hanging?
Hang.
Is it gonna be like in?
Electric chair.
Maybe we could do it like in the earlier seasons of Oz, where they actually get to choose how they want to die.
What if it's like the end of Schindler's List, where where he's just on a little stool and they
I
have
mean,
to
wait,
kick it out
guys,
from
what
under
are we
him.
even talking? War crimes? I'm pretty sure it's firing squad. Pretty sure it'd be a firing
Okay,
squad,
I was
right?
thinking about the
but is
guy
it a
on the
little
balcony.
tiny firing squad? Do they have
Well,
little
yeah.
pebbles that they like
No,
out
they
of
ca-
slingshot?
They stone him?
I'm pretty sure that the mice and other small animals, they would have the same technology that we have. They would
It's
have
just
to figure
tiny?
out how to- Yeah, they'd have to engineer it smaller.
Okay,
but yeah,
but
they
all the
had,
human
like, cutlery
characters?
and stuff like that, little carts and cars.
What they
and
do
stuff.
is just put him in an empty room with a really hungry cat.
What? That's not a firing squad.
No. What they do is
I
they have
like
the
it.
firing squad there, and they have the epic music swell and everything, and you see Fievel and he's crying, but there's also human characters watching it, and as
What? Why?
because did you say one of them is going to be like photoshopped in?
50 Cent?
Yeah,
It's,
is he going to be a human, like
Yeah.
a human judge? So he'll
Yeah.
at least be watching it,
Yeah.
and then
Okay,
and then it'll be like
She's just watching it take place in like a shoebox or something.
yeah, and it'll be ready, aim, and it'll be all dramatic, and
And
they'll
then-
have the music swell. But then when the firing
it's
squad
like a
goes
little
off,
dust.
it'll cut to him, like his perspective. You just hear like, like the
You
tiny
look down,
little
there's just a
sound.
little smoke clouds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, like you hear the tiny little sound of the tiny little guns go off. And
You know what you do to make it even funnier? Is that it's all dramatic. They're firing and everything, like reloading. When you go to 50 cents, you just hear the.
yeah, exactly.
you hear Fievel.
But he's got a big magnifying glass, so he can actually see what's going on.
Oh, and he catches them all on fire because the sun goes.
Oh,
and
no!
it's an accident. And then he's on trial for war crime.
For war crimes, for killing,
For manslaughter.
killing
For war
for
criminals.
mice slaughter.
mouse
Mice
slaughter.
slaughter.
I'm pretty sure that he would just get an award for like killing like unwanted vermin, right?
He's got a new business.
Yeah, it's just on the side of the van. It's just a magnifying
He gets a
glass, little
spin-off.
beam hitting a mouse.
He's a spin-off.
Yeah.
He's an exterminator.
This franchise could go. This is a new cinematic universe.
Welcome back to the American Tail Cinematic Universe. ATC, CU? Yeah?
Yeah.
AT. Oh yeah, ATCU. Yeah.
The ACU.
No,
we-
ATCEU.
do we
'cause
need
it's
an-
extended universe?
I was gonna say we might also need another A in there to clarify that it's animated. So A
Well,
T
no,
A.
it's an
ECU.
American Tale, so it's AATCEU.
Yeah,
Cinematic Extended Universe.
yeah. Well, we know that I'm a huge fan of goofy acronyms and abbreviations, so I mean, we need to have the longest one possible so that we
Remember,
can throw it in the face of those other ones.
Remember we were supposed to be talking about how it doesn't hold up?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it doesn't hold up. But, I mean,
This holds up.
yeah, this
would hold up.
This has a lot of possibilities. I'm just saying. I mean, I've also got tons of ideas for all dogs.
I'm
Go to
writing on the
Heaven.
whiteboard right now.
So yeah, put that on the idea board. We'll get back to it.
We got the Inspector Gadget reboot coming.
Is that real?
No,
Oh,
I'm just saying
okay.
you'll have.
I mean, you could
Got me
just
excited.
hand me your tired and worn out properties, and I will revitalize them. Just give me enough time.
You know what else is a tired and worn out property? Cat in the Hat. I was
That's
tired and worn
true.
out 20 minutes into that movie. I was tired and worn out.
Perfect transition.
Did you settle on
Andy.
that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna settle on Cat in the
Okay.
Hat.
I feel like Dr. Seuss is getting a lot of mentions tonight.
He's rolling over in his
Alright.
grave right now. Those assholes on Pop Talks.
If we just slap on Dr. Seuss's name onto American Tail, we'll go crazy.
Oh wow, that just opened up this whole psychedelic dimension. that we
Live
could add
action
onto
American
I
Tail.
just dropped acid.
it. Yeah.
But yes, Cat in the Hat. The same exact thing as the Grinch.
But worse.
But yeah, it's just it's even more weird.
Okay,
Especially with Thing 1 and Thing 2. Have you ever seen the Cat in the Hat?
I haven't seen it. Not even a little bit. I have no idea. Besides Mike Myers, who's in
There's
it,
a lot
or
of
what it looks
dirty
like,
jokes in
or
that
There's,
movie.
yeah, there's a part where there's a fold out of the mother. Like he's like, "Who is this lady?" And he
Yeah.
does this horrible laugh where he goes like, "Puh!" Like it's like, "Puh!"
It's Mike
anytime he
Myers
does a
being
laugh.
Mike Myers.
yeah.
But like, not even good Mike Myers. But, I mean, not that there is such a thing.
Oh, I mean,
I'm kidding.
yeah. And,
Wayne's World.
What? Yeah,
But
pretty much where he peaked. I'm saying.
but he goes up to the picture and he opens it and it's like a Playboy
Yeah,
centerfold,
right,
and like
right.
you see his hat, like the hat, like
Well, it's like-
extend up. It like extends up, and I
Ah.
remember the same grandparents that took me to see The Grinch also took me to see this because I guess they wanted to torture me even more.
Yeah,
They hadn't learned their
exactly.
lesson yet. But I was sitting there watching it, and I remember walking out, and they said, "I was thinking about taking you out of that movie, not because it was inappropriate, but because they were like, I can't believe we sat through that thing.
Yeah.
Even then, there's a lot of inappropriate parts for a kids movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what disturbs me a little bit. Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I was probably extra square back then, but like when Shrek first came out, just the amount of like just bathroom humor that was throughout that whole thing was like, man, they're trying really hard to keep the parents a little bit entertained. But I don't think that parents are necessarily going to hear like,
Yeah.
you know,
Huh,
piss
he's
and fart
farting.
There's a,
jokes.
there's a
Yeah,
difference
exactly.
between like fart jokes, which
Right,
is
yeah.
not gonna like no parent cares if their kid hears a fart joke or whatever, and then
Yeah.
having the Cat in the Hat simulate an erection,
Yes, right. Yes.
looking at somebody's mother.
Yeah.
That's a thing that
That's
happened in this
nuts.
movie.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up.
No,
That's a
yeah.
real thing that happened in this movie.
Another quotable part of that movie that's really sexual is when he has the gardening hoe,
Mhm.
and then like it pops up at him, and I think it hits him,
Mhm.
and he goes, "Oh, dirty hoe," and he pushes it down, and he comes back and goes, "I'm sorry, baby, I love you," and he starts kissing it,
Whoa.
implying that he actually called the
Yeah.
hoe a hoe.
Right. Yeah.
And I
mean-
remember I said "ho" as a joke after that because I didn't know. Because I was
Yeah.
I was like 5 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
So I remember like my brother, who must have been like a 1 at the time
Yeah,
or
you
something,
called him
like
a dirty hoe.
well, like he would like knock a glass over and I'd be like dirty hoe, and like I don't know what it means.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom, what the hell are you doing?
What?
No more Dr. Sims for you.
Which is exactly what we want parents to be telling their children. No more Dr. Seuss.
Oh my God.
Do you know how inappropriate and bad of a movie you have to make where your parents are going, no more Dr. Seuss for you?
Yeah, right.
Just to be clear, I
At
was
least
not
live
banned.
action Dr. Seuss.
Who made those? Whose fault are
Bo
those
Welch.
movies?
Isn't it DreamWorks that did it?
No, well, I don't know. I don't remember the studio,
Yeah,
but
it
it was
was
Bo
the studio.
Welch that did the. He's like a set designer or something. I'm
Okay.
gonna look it up just to make sure
That's
I got
probably
it right.
why he was chosen for it. Because yeah, you need somebody who has like a very specific or a really good solid grasp on like the aesthetics of Seussian imagery.
Yeah,
to
but you.
build your sets and to build your world and stuff. Because that's way more important, really, than any
There's
character.
also a part where he chops off his tail,
And he goes, son of a bit, and then it
and then
cuts.
it cuts off, and it says like the little cat on the tree. He's like, hang in there.
Yeah.
That's like a good 5-10 seconds right there.
Mhm.
And then they go back to him. He's still going, ah, and it's still bleeped out. And they go back to the cat.
Wait, they were
picture.
bleeping stuff in
Yeah.
this
Yes,
movie?
they bleep.
Why are they bleeping language in a kids
because
movie?
he was supposed. He was like simulating like a cooking show, making
Okay.
cupcakes,
Yeah.
and he was talking to another one of himself, who had like a
There's
sweater.
multiples of him in this movie.
He's so he's so like wacky and kooky
One
that
Mike
he,
Myers
he
isn't
could
enough in
he
this
could
movie?
play off of himself. And one had like glasses, like the blonde hair.
Wait,
and
was there
everything.
like actually 2 of him at the same time?
Yes.
on the
Yeah,
scene,
yeah,
or
yeah,
He
yeah.
would go back and forth like.
He was even on the audience too.
Yeah, no, they like had it like split screen, like he was talking to himself, and
He was a huge dick to the other cat in that too.
Yeah.
there's to the other cat. It's himself. He's just
Himself.
splitting himself. It. What's great about this movie though is that the Cat in the Hat is essentially the same thing as Pennywise the clown.
Oh.
Like
my
he has
God,
like,
you're
he has
right.
like reality bending powers, and he comes to children when their parents aren't around and tries to like
when they're unsupervised.
yeah, and
Yeah.
tries to like lure them in with like
kind of has a
fun.
pervert.
Yeah.
Well, like kind of there's a part in
You
there
know
where
what
he says
kind of hat he's wearing.
there's a part
Jimmy hat.
I remember this so specifically. There's a part where they go, "Cat, how did you get here?" And he says, "When a mommy and daddy cat love each other very
yeah!
much." And then
Wow.
they go, "No, how did you get here?" But like it has like the music where it's like, wah, wah, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, who okayed this
Yeah.
See,
shit?
like, there's a part where
Like-
you see his whole like ass crack without the fur. I
What?
think.
Yeah, well,
Like
because he's
little-
supposed to be a plumber.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And he like bends down and you can see his butt.
So it's just like a man's butt,
Yeah, it's like
cheeks.
a man ass.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody like a whoever studio made it. It's like we want the Grinch,
yeah.
but fuck this up 10 times more.
Yeah. Right. How much more can we crank up?
Okay, so we got some.
So it's terrifying in a different way.
We got Ron Howard, who is somebody with talent. What happens if we? And I don't want to insult
Alec
Bo Welch.
Baldwin was in the
No,
movie too.
but it's like
Oh, okay.
we got like a filmmaker, like who had done movies before to do this. Let's get somebody who we have no idea what they're gonna do and just have them fuck this up as much as they possibly can. And by the way, Alec Baldwin's in it, and he wants to send the kid away to military school because he
Mm.
wants to bang the mom.
Oh.
that's his whole
I'm
objective.
sensing some recurring themes here.
Yeah, I'm
It's,
pretty sure
That's
somebody-
his whole goal. He just wants to bang the mom.
Yeah.
He wants to smash and pass.
Don't you remember that from your childhood of Dr. Seuss books?
Yeah, no, not from the books. That's the thing.
His
The,
dad's like, you gotta
the
go
books,
to military
and
school.
and this ties into even like previous episodes where it's like you don't need to pad an extra hour onto the content. Like with these books, they're for kids. They're short. They're easy to read, and they're easy to understand. and
They have a little bit of imagination
yeah,
in them.
it's
Are they-
all done, and
Are the people Who's in Cat in the Hat? Are they still Who's? Like
Who's?
immigrants?
No,
I
they're,
think they're
they're just
people.
regular. They're people.
yeah,
Are they?
I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
they don't act like people, but
right. Well, no one that worked on that movie.
Well, they
apparently acted
dress
like
the
people.
same. That's why.
well, no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's all this
Yeah.
neon nightmare.
Okay.
It's like this
So
huge. like,
Bruckheimer was producing as well.
no,
Or,
it doesn't.
Not Bruckheimer. Schumacher.
No, a Joel Schumacher movie looks 10 times better than this. I'm not lying. These are some of
Cat nipples.
these movies.
Got him running all down his
No,
body.
cat cheeks.
Oh, he has like 8 of them.
Yeah, right. yeah, cat cheeks. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
The
god.
new bat nipples. Cat cheeks.
Makes,
Cat erections.
Oh,
you see
yeah.
him throughout the whole movie. It's like that.
Just big ass
And he
nipples.
wants a cup of milk.
Is it cold in here?
There's a part where they walk in. There's a bunch of baby cats like.
Oh god.
He's just laying down.
Yeah, but it's Mike Myers and he does that stupid laugh where he's like, it's like, "Pah!"
That doesn't make sense. He's a male. Cat
There-
nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
There's their classic joke they have in that movie is that the cat's lactose intolerant.
Okay.
So don't give him milk or else he farts.
I mean, I don't think you're actually supposed to give milk like cream or whatever.
yeah, you're not supposed to, but
Yeah.
that was like the joke. But
Yeah.
the punchline was that he just was like this nasty fart or something.
Okay. Well, you gotta have a good.
I'm gonna
fart
pull up
in a
right
movie
now
like
on his laptop.
that. Be sure to use Bing. We're trying to attract the attention of Bing onto this show. It's the next
Sponsored
Google.
by Bing.
I'm telling you, it's the next Google.
Well, we're clearly not getting sponsored by whoever funded the fucking Cat in the Hat.
Probably not. Yeah.
They were planning a sequel to that shit.
Were they?
Yeah.
The Cat in the Hat comes back.
Oh, like the book.
Oh.
Mhm.
He
Is it?
tries to bang the mom even more.
Yeah.
He
Right.
actually does bang them all.
Oh,
he comes back.
Comes on her back. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no.
actually that. No.
And he
you
does
didn't
that.
say
Pah!
Oh no.
So you just hear in the next room.
So it's like a 43-second movie.
No, I want it to be.
It's actually just one of those movies that you go into like the porno shop and go in the stall and you just put it in a
No,
quarter.
what I
in.
want it to be is Mike Myers is in the first 2 minutes. He walks upstairs, and then the rest of the movie is just the kids trying to distract themselves while you hear him banging them all
Yeah.
upstairs. So like, and it gets
Just take a
progressively,
turn.
it progressively gets more and more perverted. Like you'll hear chains, and you'll hear
What?
You wear my hat. Come on.
Oh, stick your hat in me!
What?
He's got a little. He's got a dildo, but it's got the candy cane stripes on it, like
oh
the Cat
boy.
in the Hat.
Oh boy. All right. I think we're ready to move on to the movies that do hold up.
I was gonna say
This
the one
is-
episode I come on, we started talking about nothing but sex.
Yeah, it's all your fault, Gabriel. You made.
We were so
You're so
clean.
professional.
You, know, you made it weird.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah. All right, bye guys. Thanks for having me in the podcast.
All right.
I'll be back the next 3 episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them.
Do we want to move on to the movies that do
I
hold
think-
up?
Please, can we please move on from
I'm pretty
the
sure we.
depravity that is the Cat in the Hat
I'm
movies?
pretty sure we just lost the 3 people that are listening to this.
I know. We were just like, all right, I'm done.
We haven't even uploaded this yet. I just checked the channel. We lost 10 subscribers.
Oh no,
Something in the air.
we're back to 1.
Do we want to go back to me?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. For the movie that holds up from my childhood is a movie that a lot of people have problems with, and to them I
As do
say
I.
I say you are wrong. This is a movie that blew my mind when I was a kid, and it still blows my mind today. I
As
love
do
it. It is Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Excuse me.
Is that your feelings about this movie?
I'm just trying to get on par with Dr. Seuss quality.
Yeah.
No, this is a great movie. It really feels like a modern day, even though it takes place in the 30s, it feels like a modern day version of King Kong. Because King Kong, when it came out, was an event film. It was like an unprecedented kind of nobody had ever seen anything like
Yeah,
that. And
Which
granted-
is why you make a reboot of it,
No, but-
because it's unprecedented before, so now it'll be even less precedented,
the-
because there's another movie.
no, the tone, no, and there's been multiple King Kong
Yeah, of
movies
course.
before, but
The one that came out last year too. Was it last year or this year?
it was this year.
It feels like so long ago.
It's been a long year.
Yeah, but no, this movie, it really feels like an epic film. Like it has a large scope to it. It's 3 hours long, which I actually don't mind. People are like, oh, they're on the boat for an hour or whatever. It doesn't
It's called
feel.
Story.
It doesn't feel like an hour to me though. Like it
Yeah.
The thing about it is, even though it's 3 hours, it moves.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Which is important for a
Like,
3
it
hour
doesn't-
film.
I do agree with all these.
It
things you're
doesn't-
talking about.
It doesn't stagnate. They don't just say the same thing over and over again. Like there's a constant revelation or progression of plot every 5 to 10 minutes. So I don't think that it's one of those movies where it's not like when you watch like other Peter Jackson movie, like the Hobbit trilogy, where
Oh,
where you're like,
Well.
Jesus Christ, they're still sitting around watching, fucking singing about these, my brain is broken. I can't even think about it. What is
I mean, anybody
biscuits and tea and
Yeah.
all this? These are the things that Bilbo Baggins hates, and I'm like, we're 90 minutes in. We're
Anybody
90
who-
minutes
yeah,
in.
anybody who watched all of those movies would like do
I
themselves a favor.
hated the
But
third one.
if they would have just taken that amount of time that they spent watching the movies and just read the book, they would have gotten way more enjoyment out of it. Because the book's great. I mean, it's maybe a little bit like lengthy and dense, and some would call it dry, probably. But that's just
I would
British.
say it's a perfect book.
Yeah, the book's
There's
great.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. So,
But,
and especially if you're already into Lord of the Rings, like it's another good book that's part of that same world. But yeah, the movies were such a waste of everybody's time.
But
Good
that's my
money.
point, though, is that like these are both made by the same guy. But I
Yeah.
don't think that King Kong has a lot of the flaws of like the Hobbit
I
trilogy.
feel like
it
he was probably
moves.
more passionate about King Kong.
Well, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happened during the Hobbit. Like Guillermo del Toro stepped off, and
Sure,
then Peter
yeah.
Jackson took over,
Mm.
and
That's right.
they're doing a trilogy of epic fantasy films. But he still had to meet the release date
Right.
of Guillermo del Toro's
Mhm.
films, and you can't imitate Guillermo del Toro. So they basically had to scrap everything he did
Okay.
and kind of they had a couple months maybe
Yeah.
to prep this whole thing. It took
Okay.
like years to prep the Lord of the Rings
Right,
trilogy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they basically said, I've seen interviews, but they said it's like laying the track right in front of the train. Like
Sure,
you're
yeah,
constantly
yeah.
running ahead.
Mhm.
You're constantly running behind. And
So I feel like
trying to
more
stay
prep
ahead.
time for King Kong then.
well, King Kong is what's nice is that it's a singular movie.
Well, yeah, and also it's something different too. That probably helped as well, is to kind of like change gears and get into like a different idea space and that kind of thing to kind of freshen it up.
And there's no wasted scenes in there or anything.
Mm.
There's no scenes where it's clearly setting something else up. What I like is that it's a contained movie.
Yeah.
They never did a sequel.
Mm.
They never did a prequel. They
Mm.
never did a Son of Kong remake. You know what I mean? They never
They
brought.
didn't do the King Kong animated series that ran for 25 years.
No, they didn't. For a second there, I thought you were going to reference
Just
the
as long
Netflix
as
show.
No.
Fievel's American Tail.
Yeah.
No, but that movie has some like legit great sequences in it. Like there's a whole scene where a bunch of brontosauruses are stampeding. I don't know if you
When
guys
he
remember
fights the
this.
T-Rex.
sorry.
Yeah, the T-Rexes are great. It's all entertaining. It
Mm.
draws you in. The entire thing is immersive. It feels like a real world that he's created. What I
Yeah.
love is that they'll be walking around. There'll be all these decaying huts and stuff, and it's clear that a tribe has been living. People have been living on this island for years.
Yeah.
It feels like a real place,
Mm.
and it feels like a love letter to King Kong,
Okay.
like to the original. Like the opening scene in the movie, they play like a really like cheesy 1930s song where it's like I'm sitting on top of the world, but like you'll see like all these vaudeville performers playing, but
Mhm.
then it'll cut, and it's like a musical sequence, but it'll cut and you'll just see like policemen like smashing alcohol, bottles of alcohol and
Oh,
stuff, and
yeah.
it like puts you in the
That
time
era.
frame,
Yeah.
and it feels like the 30s, but it also feels epic the way the original King Kong does,
Yeah.
and it's a perfect blend, and it really feels like it was made by a guy whose mind was blown by King Kong
Sure,
when he was
yeah,
a kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of shit on this movie
Mhm.
because they're like, oh, there's
There's a lot of redeeming qualities. in it.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot of redeeming qualities in it. I mean, and I'm not even saying that in the way like you say Superman Returns has a lot of redeeming qualities or something, but it's a very
Yeah.
flawed movie.
Sure, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at this movie, I'm like, what the hell do people have a
Yeah.
problem with? Besides maybe, the ass-numbingly long runtime.
Sure, yeah.
But besides that, I'm
Which
like,
is probably a big enough problem for like general audiences. Is like most people around like minute 85, 86, they're just like,
Come
"All right,
on."
wrap
Yeah.
it up. I
and
got
the fact that they're not even on the island yet, that is probably, they're like, oh my god.
Show me Kong. King
Yeah.
Kong.
Came for Kong.
It has
Wow.
some great performances in it.
Keep hitting myself.
Oh, sorry, we almost knocked over the back of the store right now.
Mm,
Thanks to Gabriel.
Fucking
yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Again.
He was just thinking about King Kong knocking over that wall in the movie.
I was trying to climb it.
Grr, arg.
I was trying to come with the best dude.
Stop trying to climb things.
But no, I feel this is a movie
Same
that
Jungle Gym.
it really deserves a second look, and I think it really deserves pee before you watch it. Make sure you have enough soda to drink while you're watching it.
Or watch it on your phone and take it with you to pee.
That seems
On the
better.
toilet for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But as long as you go to the bathroom before it, you should be fine. But I feel like this is a movie that really deserves
They show
more
on TV a
recognition.
lot still too.
Is it-
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it definitely still holds up. That's pretty much all I have to say without going on for like 3 hours about it.
And make it into like a porno.
What? Not again. Not straying
This is
off
why
into
we
that
don't
again.
invite Gabriel.
God, we knew this was gonna happen.
This isn't a locker room, guys.
Come
This is
on,
a professional
we're all
podcast.
bros. That's all guys think about, right?
That's all guys think about is King Kong pornos.
I try not to think.
Right now.
I try not to think about it when I'm out in public because I need my mind to be on other things.
Well, and you also don't want to like knock things over that are around like waist level and stuff like
That's
that.
true. That's
Going
true.
on.
So, Jason?
Yeah, so this one is my movie is not technically from my childhood because it came out a little bit before I was born.
You watched it while you were a child.
Yeah, exactly. I watched it during childhood repeatedly, and it was one of like 3 or 4 movies that were just constantly in my cycle. And this was Back to the Future, probably one of the best films ever made. So I don't really have to speak in defense of it. No one has any problems with that movie, and if they do, they're
Fuck off.
if they do, I'm pretty sure they're wrong, and it'll be really easy to prove.
if they have a problem with it, they can make like a tree and get out of here.
Yes, yeah.
Or they can make like a tree and go fuck themselves.
I don't think they ever said that in that movie, but yeah, no, it's
That's because they didn't have the people making the stupid Dr. Seuss movies. Make
Exactly,
That. They'd
yeah.
be like, oh well, we need some adult shit in here.
yeah, exactly. We need to adult this up a little bit. We need the mature audiences to tune in for it.
But no, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
This is one of the few movies. I don't like to throw this term around a lot because I feel it's used a lot, but it is a perfect movie.
It really is.
There is nothing I would change
They
about
spent 7 years writing the script. They had a hard time getting it made.
He's from Robert Zemeckis, right?
it. Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, I mean it's got stuff that I don't know, like it's pretty. There aren't a whole lot of time travel movies out there. Probably because time travel's a little bit complicated.
At least good time travel movies.
Yeah, I mean, can't really think of any others right now. But yeah, no, it's awesome. It's got a cool looking car that is their vehicle. It's got
An iconic car too.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of those rolling around anymore. But yeah, it's just got everything you could want. There's romance between a son and his mother. There's creepy.
Everybody wants.
There's a
Why did you
creepy
have to
old
bring this up
guy
on the
that-
episode Gabriel was on? Now we're never gonna
Wait,
fucking
what?
stop.
Yeah.
Now we're never gonna stop talking about this.
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, there's so many things about it that, like, until I saw the Out of Time documentary they made, like, a year or two ago on Netflix, like, I didn't even think about the fact that, like, why is Marty McFly even hanging out with Dr. Emmett Brown? Like, how did that friendship even happen? Why is it okay for this, like, 15-year-old kid to be hanging out with this, like, 70-year-old, like, eccentric?
Marty.
Yeah, like, how does that even happen? Like, is he the one
Who's
that,
telling him about how he hit his head in the bathroom?
Yeah, right. Like,
I hit my head in the bathroom.
hey, Doc, could you, like, put some pants on? Like,
No, Marty.
no, Marty.
It's too hot.
It's my pants.
That's Marty.
This is heavy, Doc.
yeah,
I need to bandage my head.
I don't know. It's great. It's got the idea, and introducing the idea of time travel is they do a good job of it. I think for like general audiences, like.
Well, they start small. They
Yeah.
have him travel 2 seconds into the future, and
Yeah.
I love the scene where he looks at his watch and then he goes, "Get out of the way!" and he like pushes
Yeah.
him out of the way. And you don't think about time and space coinciding with each other
Right,
in time travel movies. You think of somebody just stepping out of a portal.
Right.
But what I love is that if you time travel, and you time travel in the wrong, space,
Yeah.
you might accidentally hit somebody when you go back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, with like as far as like 3-dimensional space goes and the Earth orbiting and rotating and all that, I'm pretty sure that the car would probably be like either somewhere up in the air or like below the surface of the Earth or whatever. So it didn't quite make a whole lot of sense, but I mean, but yeah, exactly. It's cool because you don't think about like you're traveling through time and space, or it's at least going to be in the
That's a
same
lot of
space it was.
problems we have with time travel in general.
Yeah.
Like especially like in shows, like
Mm.
they time travel, but they end up like in another country or something.
Oh yeah.
Right. Then you also created a teleporter.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It doesn't
It's
only
just-
travel through time.
yeah.
It's traveling through space as well.
Yeah.
Well, teleporting itself is traveling through time. You are covering
That's
massive
true,
amounts
yeah.
of space over. You
Yeah.
are condensing the time. That
Yeah. So.
But that's a whole nother discussion.
Right,
That's a whole
yeah.
nother Robert Zemeckis
Mm,
trilogy. That
yeah.
you can make.
Episode 4, we talk about time travel.
Episode 4, we talk about Jumper.
Good.
Jumper movie.
Without
Wait, Jumper
Gabriel.
or Looper?
No, Jumper is the one where you
We can talk
jump
about
around
both,
the
yeah,
world.
both
Oh
ends
my
of
god.
Yeah. Looper has time travel, and
I like the
Jumper
time
has-
travel on Futurama. Can we talk about that?
I don't know. Can we?
I don't think we have the time.
I've got no. Yeah, we don't got the time. If only we had a time machine.
Am I gonna become the Matt Damon of your guys' Jimmy Kimmel?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Gabriel. We didn't have enough time for you.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have to say a whole lot about why Back to the Future is great. Because
Yeah.
it's great. Everybody knows it.
Do
If you
remember
haven't
the first
seen it,
time you
watch
watched
it. Hmm?
You remember the first time you watched it?
First time, I mean, not specifically, but I mean, I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. I was probably watching like some old like VHS like that recorded it off of cable or something like that.
My favorite part is when they get chased by terrorists.
It's the Libyans.
Like in a Volkswagen bus.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And Doc dies.
Well, does he?
You spoiled it for a whole generation of people.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, movie's phenomenal.
People in 30 years from now are listening to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen Back to the Future yet.
Oh, they've got it on the view stream plugged into my brain.
Yeah, they got it on my eyeball stream.
Yeah.
Netballs. Oh, but that's a bad idea.
The actual iPhone.
Yeah.
It's just a cybernetic eye that has smartphone capabilities.
You know what's great about this movie,
Another
though?
Futurama joke.
It balances action and comedy and actual suspense.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there are parts where, like, towards the end, when Doc is trying to connect the cable and then he sees that it's come undone, where you're kind of like,
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, you're like, oh, shit!
Yeah, there's some real tension there.
Yeah,
You had the
and
TV. Dog, you fucking idiot!
It seems like they've got everything under control, and then Marty's dad, George, is like getting punked by that one evil ginger dude that's just like, I'm cutting in and dancing with Lorraine. And it's like, no,
And
it's...
his hand
Yeah,
starts
his
to
hand starts
disappear.
going ghosty. Yeah. It's like, George!
And it's got some great, like, jokes that it doesn't need to explain either. Like when they have the whole Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan or whatever. They don't need to, like, set up, like, Marty's a big Star Wars and Star Trek fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
there's a good enough chance that somebody who's watching a time travel movie already knows a little bit
no,
about
but
that
I'm just saying, like, we're culturally aware of this
Yeah.
enough. It's great. It doesn't, like, spoon feed you
Mhm.
all the jokes and
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, and there's even like there's a scene in the second one which I love where
yeah.
when they show the prom again, they
Yeah.
show like Biff spikes the punch
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah.
the prom. So George had a little bit of, alcohol to get
Yeah.
into it, to motivate him to punch Biff later.
Yeah, a little liquid courage there.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite, One of my favorite jokes from the first one is when Marty keeps saying, "Oh, well, that's heavy, Doc," and Doc is like, "Oh, what's wrong with the Earth's gravity in the future?"
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
It's a colloquialism,
Yeah.
Doc. I don't know why you don't
Come
understand.
on,
There's
Doc.
going to be different
You're
slang
a
in the future.
scientist. Come on, Doc.
This shouldn't be too difficult to put together, Doc. But then again, he's the guy that got.
Yeah, but I'm a
He's the guy
theoretical physicist.
He's the
I'm
guy
not
that
a
hangs out with
linguist.
the teenager.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which is unexplained, and I guess another thing that doesn't need to be explained, except in my fan fiction of Back to the Future.
On next episode,
Back to the-
on Back to the Future Talks.
Get Back to the Future.
back to the top.
Colon back in time.
Back to the pop.
What'd you think of the third one?
It's my least favorite.
As most people's.
Yeah,
What-
I'm not
what
a
do
huge
you-
fan of it. I'm totally on board for it. It's a good movie. It's just not the best of the three. And if I have to rank them, then honestly, Back to the Future, one of the greatest films ever made. However, Back to the Future 2 is my favorite. It's not anywhere near as good as the first one. It's just hoverboards. That's really all it is.
And
If
the
they had
actors-
hoverboards in the first one, then
And they didn't have to pay new actors to play the kids. Or anything.
Yeah, right. Well, and I also like that there's a little bit of the first one in the second one. Like, they loop back on it, and that's kind of cool to have, like, a different perspective on stuff. And it kind of gets you thinking, like, wait, was he there the whole time and we just didn't know? And, like, yeah, kind of, because it's time travel. Like, so, I don't know. That was kind of a fun, like, added element to it, is that, like, they have some of the first one in it anyways, so it's, like, not too far flung from the original. But, yeah, so, yeah, definitely the first one is the best one, but the second one's my favorite.
That was like one of like the best ending scenes too. The second one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The dog's alive.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay my tuition.
Yeah.
That's what he's focused on.
Still rich.
That's why he's friends with him.
You can pay my.
Ooh, another thing that makes the second one and the third one better than the first is Elizabeth Shue comes in to play Jennifer, and oh boy, Elizabeth Shue, back in the day, she was in that. She was in Karate Kid, which was one of those other movies that I mentioned earlier that I was watching all the time as a kid, and yeah, wow, she's still got it going on. Bing that.
Right after I bang your Back to the Future fan fiction, which I'm pretty sure is going to have Elizabeth Shue involved.
It'll be on my site on GeoCities. It's the same account I've had for the last 25 years when the American Tales animated series started. All right, Gabriel, I think you're up.
My movie was underappreciated when it first came out, and more so appreciated now. and that is the Iron Giant.
Oh yeah.
Because you guys did not know what mine was beforehand.
Neither of us knew. We
What?
did not discuss.
Oh my god!
I mean, Iron Giant's pretty good.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I like
it
it a lot.
It will get an adult choked up at the
True.
end when he's like Superman,
Oh, yeah.
and you're just sort of like, God damn it,
Vin Diesel.
Superman.
Did it again.
Woo. Nobody knows who you are then.
Yeah, exactly.
But one day you're gonna be saving the world with a car.
Yeah. You'll be both fast and
With
furious.
a car. With a car. One day you're gonna get upstaged by an even more ripped bald guy.
I mean, that's
So-
just the way of the world, isn't it?
So enjoy the first 4 Fast and Furious movies. Well, wait, he only makes a cameo in Tokyo Drift. That doesn't count.
He doesn't come on the second one.
He's not in the second one?
No,
I
it's
didn't.
just
Vin
Paul
Diesel
Walker
is in?
IRP.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's on the second one.
Wasn't he?
Shows you how
No.
much I care about those
Who
ones.
else is in it?
That's when they introduced Tyrese Gibson
Really?
and Ludacris.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I definitely saw the second one, Too Fast, Too Furious, in theaters, but
It's one of my favorite movie titles
don't know
ever
if I've
because
seen
of
it
how
since then.
ridiculous it sounds.
Is it really?
Yeah,
It's great.
because I just like the name. It's like
Too
who-
Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, like who came up with this? This is genius.
Yeah, and how did they not keep that going for the rest of the
Three
franchise?
Fast,
Fast, Three Furious. And you just keep doing it. It's awesome.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. God, you just before Fast, Four Furious.
I remember they used to have a trailer for that movie before my Ang Lee Hulk
Mm.
on the Ang Lee
Oh,
Hulk DVD
yeah,
I had,
nice.
and it was like my exposure to like the adult world at that time because they had like
Fast
girls
and
and like. Well, no, just the trailer was
Oh.
like because it had like
That's
fast
true.
cars and it had like modern music, so it
Mhm.
wasn't like fucking Pat Benatar and like that I was forced to listen to in my parents' cars
That's,
when I was driving around. It had like modern music, which is I think was outdated the day it came out. Now that I
Well.
think about it,
Isn't everything?
Yeah.
These days.
not
You-
Peter Jackson's King
You
Kong,
kids always got to be on the bleeding edge.
but no, I remember that was like my first exposure to like the adult world. I was like, ooh, maybe I'll become a illegal race car driver. Yeah, this will be fun. And then I think there's a scene where somebody punches out a window. They wrap their shirt around their fist and they punch out a window of a car. I was like, that's awesome.
But
I don't know why. It's
could
always
that
just,
actually work?
no.
That's how Andy broke his hand.
We don't say how I actually broke my hand. Can I say how I actually broke my hand?
Yeah, if you want.
You broke
Do
your
you
hand?
care? I broke my hand getting onto a trampoline.
What? Tell me. Forget Iron Giant. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
I
This is
was-
way more interesting than Iron Giant ever was.
I was climbing up on a trampoline. It was my trampoline. And there was,
And that's the end of the story. Hand broken.
yeah.
Actually,
no, there
Iron
was-
Giant.
Yeah.
No, there was there's normally a protective like
Yeah,
mat
yeah.
over the springs, but ours had been so old and we had it for so long that we had just torn it off.
And your
thrown it
parents were
away.
like, yeah, who gives a shit?
it doesn't matter. So I
You're
was
the
like,
kid.
so I was getting up.
One of those pads cost what, like $25, but a trip to the hospital, nah.
I was totally not paying attention,
Mm.
and this is actually pretty funny. My foot slipped through the spring, and I came down, and the bar was rushing up very quickly between my legs. So naturally, I put my hand down to try
Yeah.
and stop it,
Yeah.
breaking my wrist.
Wow.
And it really hurt. And I fell.
yeah.
I fell.
Typically, that would hurt if you.
I
break
fell upside down, so I'm already discombobulated. I was hanging by my ankle,
Yeah.
and I couldn't help but just go, "Fuck, fuck!" Like just scream.
As any
over-
reaction should be.
yeah,
when you
over
break
and over.
something.
But then, as I'm hanging upside down, my mom opens the door and she goes, "What the hell are you yelling about? The neighbors can hear you."
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
'Cause
And I'm,
your mom all the way from New Jersey is
Yeah.
like, what are you yelling about?
what are you doing in there?
You get a call from her.
No, but I was like hanging upside down.
Yeah.
And then she, like, I was like, "Get Will," who's my brother.
Mm.
Hi, Will. He's not listening to this. But he came out and he grabbed me by the wrist to try and pull me up. And I was like, "No, no, no, no." Grab.
Wow.
I'm like, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah.
I was so mad. And so I got off and I could just feel it like radiating up my arm, like the
yeah,
pain.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, this is like the worst pain of my life."
Yeah.
Besides emotional pain I feel every day. But
Oh, yeah.
this is the worst physical pain
So,
I've ever
Hello,
felt.
darkness, my friend.
It's a different episode.
Yeah. And I remember
Yeah.
this is the best part of the story, to me at least, because I couldn't believe that I had broken it because I didn't feel like I had broken
So
it.
you're going
'cause-
around high-fiving everybody in the hospital?
No, I could still move it like this, so I figured I just sprained it or something.
Yeah.
So I put some ice on it, and I sat down and was watching an episode of Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman.
Yeah.
I forgot that's a show.
It is a show.
Yeah, I forgot it existed.
I mean, it was a show.
And
It's not really.
It was the DVD that I had in my DVD player. I was watching it the day before,
Yeah.
and my arm hurt, so I didn't want to go through all my DVDs to put something new in. So I just put it on to like distract myself. But about halfway through the episode, I was like, "This is not working."
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor, and the rest is history. Although I did have a stupid drama competition the next day,
Mm.
and I threw up because of the medication.
What
Nice.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
So you say.
like on
No.
stage?
Yes. Well, not on stage. We were okay. So I had the
You
cast.
threw up off the stage into the audience.
Scene.
I had the cast. I had the cast
With
on.
a lap of
I
his
showed
drama
up.
teacher.
Everybody laughed at how funny that was. But it was like 8 in the morning, and we
Yeah.
drove all the way like past LA to some stupid high school to perform in the drama competition. So I was there. I got through the first 2 performances fine, and then I took some painkillers for that. But I hadn't like eaten all day because
Yeah. And also you ground them up and like snorted them to
Mhm.
make them more
Yeah.
effective.
yeah, exactly.
As one does.
But I was as we were getting ready to go on, they were like code AJ, and we were walking on, and I just literally my entire cast walked onto the set or walked onto the stage, and I just walked the complete opposite way out the door and just lost it.
Marked it.
I literally passed out. I don't know what. I may have had the flu at the same time. I don't know.
Looks like a lot of things going
No,
on.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the stress or whatever.
Turns
but,
out
like,
you're anemic, actually.
yeah,
You
but no,
probably
I
should-
literally they put an oxygen mask on me,
Yeah.
and they put one of those like foil blankets to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
warm
Wake
me
up, damn it!
and they had to
That's
call
a
my
good
mom.
look.
They
They
had to call my
injected
mom.
you with adrenaline, like in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I freaked out. Do I gotta stab him 3 times? No, you don't gotta fucking stab him 3 times. These are paramedic. These are medical professionals. By
They're
the
just
way.
yelling at each other.
Yeah.
First day on the job.
Yeah.
And then the paramedic said, "Hey, you like Iron Giant?"
What do you think about
You
Iron
know,
Giant?
Here's how we tie it back. In that drama class, we later watched The Iron Giant.
Ooh.
So getting back to this movie that is awesome.
It was awesome.
When did you first see it?
I don't remember exactly when I first saw it, kind of like Jason's situation. But according to my mom, it's one of the first animated movies I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Along with, apparently, according to my dad, along with the South Park movie.
Oh,
So
well,
that's 2 different
also super
0 to
appropriate.
100.
Yeah, wow.
Apparently, according to my dad, they took me to the theater to watch that when it came out.
Okay, well, I mean,
I had
yeah.
to
You're like a year older than me. How old were you? Like
I was
2?
like, I was like 3 or 4.
So you were walking around.
I was walking
Talking
around. I was like,
with your
"I
friend.
killed Kenny."
Yeah.
No, you were talking to your friend, and you were like,
My
"Well,
mom's a bitch.
yeah,
Well, in
you're-
Canada.
Well, Bobby's mom is a big fat bitch. She's the biggest bitch in the whole."
Yeah, but that's the way I watched it. Then she just bought it on DVD, I believe, or
Iron Giant?
yeah, or
Okay,
no, VHS. I mean,
Well,
DVDs
yeah.
weren't big.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, it was one of
Really-
those two.
Yeah,
I
you're
watched
really
it
dating yourself there,
Yeah, I
Gabriel.
watched
Old
it a
man
lot.
Gabriel.
I watched it a lot as a kid,
Mm.
and I just always loved watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great film.
Because the Iron Giant used to freak me out too, but also like
Yeah.
I was kind of intrigued.
Yeah, exactly.
by
You're kind of
it.
fascinated by it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like,
but,
what is this thing?
yeah, when you're little, you're like, yeah, this is a little bit scary,
And they're
but
supposed
also
to
a little
do.
bit
They're
exciting.
supposed to do a sequel too.
They were supposed to, or they
No,
are supposed to?
It's like apparently in the works to do a sequel.
Mm.
Because like the ending, they kind of like hint that the Iron Giant's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Or still
yeah.
operational.
hmm
And
What if it's
Yeah.
like a drama about like how because he was blown up, like a lot of his parts like aren't like a lot of the wires don't work.
Yeah.
So like he's like quadriplegic or something. But like he reassembles himself, but like the wires don't work. So like Hogarth has to like take care of him,
It's
and
like-
it's like a medical drama.
it's like Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch.
Ooh, it's just like that.
I never
Yeah.
saw that. I
I
never
know
saw
what
the
you're
first
talking
Lilo and
about.
Stitch.
It's basically like, oh, Stitch was in charge. And not
So they
So,
just rub
yeah,
him on the
yeah.
carpet a little bit, and he's
Yeah.
fine.
But it's like, but he ends up like becoming bad again or something. So it's basically, it's kind of like the same.
Sounds an
it's-
awful lot like Iron Giant.
Yeah, Iron Giant 2
Iron Giant.
coming to theaters soon. I did kind of get excited when they did say that Iron Giant's gonna play a role in that Ready Player One movie.
Oh,
So
really?
they do show him in the trailer, but he's supposed to play like a decent role throughout the movie.
Iron
Well,
Giant?
Yeah, which is weird.
Like the actual Iron Giant,
Yeah,
not
the
just Vin
actual
Diesel
Iron
voicing
Giant.
another character that's a robot or
But
something?
I think they got Vin Diesel to voice him too.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you kind of have to if you're going to do the actual Iron Giant.
Yeah, so I'm
So
sure
that's
he's
the Iron Giant sequel.
Yeah, that is the Iron Giant
It's
sequel.
in a- it's a
Just
Ready
him
Player
having like a somewhat recurring cameo.
Yeah,
supporting cast.
What if Hogarth dies in Ready Player One?
Oh my god.
Like you see Hogarth.
Giant.
Just stomps him or something.
Yeah. When he gets his giant lasers he has.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is the Iron
Warps him.
Giant alien? Did they ever?
Oh,
Pretty sure. Yeah.
he's alien.
I don't think anybody on Earth built that Iron
Yeah.
Giant. No.
He's alien. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could probably pretty easily do a sequel to Iron Giant where like the rest of his species or whatever like sends like either they send more Iron Giants or they come themselves. to
So
take
it's
over
Iron
the planet or
Giants?
whatever. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Alien Aliens,
That
it's
is a
Iron
connected
There you
Giants.
go, yeah.
another movie with Muppets from Space. Gonzo.
Yeah, that's right.
We have come to get you.
Mm.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
I saw this movie on like a Cartoon Network special,
Okay.
like when they were playing it, and I remember bawling my eyes at
Mhm,
the end,
mhm.
like sobbing,
So, yeah,
like
it's a pretty
uncontrollably
emotional movie.
sobbing.
Yeah.
Especially the end when he's trying to stop the Iron Giant.
No,
from
I was
fucking
sobbing in the middle. I was sobbing when he went swimming.
That's true.
Because you had just broken your wrist, and it was just a really emotional time for you. You were struggling with drug addiction.
I was vomiting
Yeah.
while I was watching this.
It was definitely one of the best roles that I think Jennifer Aniston has had, probably.
I didn't even know that was Jennifer Aniston, so you told me earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, just until I found out just at this
Yeah,
moment.
till I said it just now. Is
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we weren't talking about it earlier. So.
No, this is totally unscripted, by the
Yeah.
way. We don't talk about anything we do.
And who else was in that? Yeah, Vin Diesel, obviously.
Hogarth as Hogarth.
Who's the
Let me look it up.
Who names their
Dean?
kid Hogarth, by the way?
Dean, the car mechanic.
Yeah,
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the played by Dean Cain. Yeah,
Hey, Lois and Clark.
that's the reference I was making.
I never understood, like, how could a mom name their child Hogarth?
Yeah, probably a really sadistic one.
Harry Connick Jr. and Christopher McDonald were both in it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Cloris Leachman.
Hmm.
Not sure why I'm excited about that.
As
But
the Giant's mother. I don't even know. Yeah, where do you even get a name like Hogarth? I mean, I guess there's also other like relatively famous characters that have weird names like Ebenezer Scrooge, and
That's true. But, like, how do you think of that?
that's,
Hogarth?
yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'm sure it's got. Yeah, I'm sure it's just like a family name that most people don't use because it's awful. Traumatize your
What's
kid.
your name? Hogarth Marquez?
Why? Why is that
My
your
parents
name?
hate me.
Yeah, because my so super unwanted
I was an
my entire
accident.
life. So you guys ready for some trivia?
I'm down.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have much to say about the Iron Giant besides I sobbed.
Yeah.
If I watch it again, I can sob on the podcast
We'll watch
if
it.
you
We'll
want.
put it on the.
Like a little baby.
We'll play in the show. The shop one day.
I just fall apart.
And you can do these bags of boards for me. It's on the ground.
I'm back on the painkillers.
I broke my wrist again.
They won't kill pain in my heart.
We should have like a little like game show music. Welcome back to The Price is Right.
Yeah, we need a theme song for the show too, probably. But
It's
yeah.
just all of us harmonizing together.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we can work that out. That way we won't have to pay royalties or anything too.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally royalty free.
Sponsored by us.
Other people have to pay us royalties to use our
Just
us
use our-
harmonizing
us harmonizing
theme song.
to other shows.
I wasn't able to come up with a cool name for the game show. It's just the file's just called trivia questions in my phone.
That's the official name now. That's the
Yeah.
official name.
Trivia questions.
Yeah.
Welcome
let's
back to
do
the new
this.
segment of trivia questions.
I guess we could just call it Pop Quiz.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
the name of the
yeah.
show is Pop Talks.
I'm going
right?
home.
Okay.
Alright.
So that's a hard pass from both of you.
It's a maybe.
Well,
It's a maybe for me.
I get 2 votes, so we're at a stalemate. I'm gonna ask Pierre what he thinks of it, and
You didn't even know you had a podcast until like Black Friday.
I mean, he probably doesn't know what a podcast is exactly. Anyways, he might. I might have explained it to him already, but anyways, okay. So let's see. How do we decide who goes first? I've got a coin to
we
flip.
can do rock paper scissors.
Okay,
Um,
rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
I just had a one.
Best 2 out of 3, or just one?
Just one.
Let's do done in
Extreme.
one.
Yeah.
Extreme.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
I
Gabriel
All right,
wins.
Gabriel won.
Should I go first?
Wins with rock.
Last time I ever suggest scissors.
I mean,
Or scissoring.
good night, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. All right,
Back to
Gabriel
you.
goes first.
All right.
Gabriel, your first
Hit
question
me.
is: we are currently recording in the back of JPM Comics here in beautiful Glendora, California. Your first question is: what does the P in JPM stand for?
Pierre.
It does. Correct. That's
Pop Talks is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
All right, well done, well done.
It's 5 per person, right?
Yeah, you got 5 chances. All right, let's see. Okay, and Andy, your first question, also somewhat related to JPM. What musical instrument does Pierre play? Ooh, it's a good thing that that you
Ooh,
went
I'm
second.
glad I didn't get that one.
Trumpet?
Correct.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
Pierre is a trumpeter. I don't know if that's a thing. He plays trumpet, yeah, for anybody that was curious.
All right.
All right, cool. Gabriel, question number 2.
Colors Pierre's hair.
Was his hair?
All right.
Question 2. Which DC character was the number 4, to take on the mantle of Batman's sidekick, Robin?
Damian Wayne.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Dang.
Are we talking chronologically, or are we talking about when it was printed, or is it in the actual continuity of the comics?
I mean, it would be both in this case, but
actually, there's a lot of
there's been a few.
Yeah,
but
I'm just going the one I'm more.
Yeah, I'm talking about like in like canonical. Well, I guess it might not be canon
Just in
anymore.
general, right?
Okay, so the reason I ask is because there's the little known fact that Stephanie Brown actually took on the mantle of Robin for 3 issues during Bill Willingham's run.
That's right.
After Tim Drake, like, he quit and left for a minute. But before Damian Wayne was even a glimmer in his daddy's eye, Stephanie Brown, also known as Spoiler, she also later became Batgirl after being Robin for a minute, and now she's back to being Spoiler.
Put in my 2 weeks, everybody.
Right. That's a big fail. And oh yeah, that's right. You guys are playing for who gets to keep working here. I'm so glad I thought of that.
Oh, that's right.
To be fair, the podcast does not keep going because we're recording it on my laptop if I get fired.
I'm pretty sure that we'll figure out some way of recording this with like tin cans and someone else's computer, something like that, from a distance.
I have a laptop.
I mean, I'm sure I know someone with a laptop.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so over to Andy. Your second question is of a similar difficulty level. In Marvel Team Up number 137, Peter Parker's Aunt May became the Herald of Galactus. What was the name of her cosmically powered alter ego?
I don't know that. Look at me.
I mean, you can work through it vocally if you like. This is an auditory
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of something with gray hair. The Gray Surfer. I don't know. I don't know. Where did you get this from? Because I guarantee you haven't read this Marvel Team Up issue either.
What just happened?
Uh-oh.
That's weird.
I say just take a wild guess.
The Gray Surfer. Then.
Okay.
Gray Surfer, final answer. I'm afraid that's incorrect. Aunt May was called the Golden Oldie.
No way.
The Golden Oldie. It's straight up for reals. Yeah, so that was during Assistant Editors Month, I think in like the 70s or something like that. The reason I know that is because one of our customers, that's one of his his few anecdotes that he refers back to every once in a while.
So you've heard about this multiple times.
Yes, I have.
All right.
So, okay, we're on to question number 3. Over to Gabriel. In Steven Universe, Steven has a pet with the power to teleport and is also a gateway to a parallel universe where Steven keeps some stuff. What is the name of Steven's pet?
Lion.
Correct.
I'm a weeb.
Thank
I
God.
watch Steven Universe.
Thank God I didn't get that because I don't watch Steven Universe.
It's a hit and miss show, but I like it.
All right, what's mine?
Hang on, I'm having some issues here.
Technical difficulty.
Hang in there.
What's going on?
Cat in the hat.
Son of a.
Oh boy. How did we loop back to that? Not a good.
It's
a good
good
sign.
podcasting. You get back to the.
Right.
It comes full circle.
All right, Andy, your third question. The wildly successful Marvel TV series, The Inhumans,
Oh, yeah.
recently went off the air.
Fuck yeah.
What is the given name of the Inhumans leader, Black Bolt?
Blackagar Boltagon.
What? How did you know that? You're a genius. Yes.
Because
that's
I watched
correct.
the show. No, I didn't. I just know it because it's so ridiculous.
I'd be real surprised if they even
Is that
used
his
that
actual
on the
name?
show.
Yes, it's Blackagar Boltagon.
That's not creative at all.
I feel like my superhero name was Andrew.
Yeah, right, yeah. But it's like Andrew with
Yeah.
like extra O's or something.
Yeah.
Like, well, not extra O's. there's no
Four,
O's in
but
it.
four means 2 different words.
Yeah.
Four
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's your superhero name is Four Man.
All right.
You have to do everything in 4s. All right. Question 4, over to Gabriel. Matt Fraction, acclaimed co-creator of the Image comic series Sex Criminals, has created many of his own comic series. But which of these Marvel Comics series has he not written? This is multiple choice.
Okay.
So A, Uncanny X-Men, B, The Champions, C, Amazing Spider-Man, or D, Hawkeye?
I want to say Hawkeye. But I feel like I'm wrong.
You are wrong. That is
Yeah,
incorrect. He wrote Hawkeye with like Pizza Dog and
That's
the
like
sign language.
that's like the
and-
biggest Hawkeye story ever created.
It
It's
yeah.
like the most famous
Oh, I
Hawkeyes ever
think
been.
I did read the first couple issues of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I
That
don't remember.
sucked.
Didn't know, but
Yeah.
that was probably
Yeah,
before you were
sucks.
reading Sex Criminals, though.
Well, I think I was ready to read Six
Oh,
Criminals,
really? Okay,
but
yeah.
I still didn't really know, like, fractions of the works, though.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm more of a Chip kind of guy.
Oh yeah, Chip's great. He's phenomenal.
What
Yeah,
was the answer?
the correct answer is C, Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
was
I
gonna
thought
say
it was Champions.
I
No,
was gonna
okay.
say Champions,
So
too.
yeah, so this one I also made a little bit.
Is this the one with
difficult 'cause-
Hercules and?
No, this is a different one. So he did a series called. Wait, it wasn't Champions. Was it Champions? Yeah, it was.
Questions round.
So he did. It was called The Order, but it was the Champions. It was a West Coast based superhero
Oh, that's
team.
not fair.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, I did do that wrong.
Do we both get to keep working here since you messed up the question?
Well, hang on. That's only one that I screwed up. So
He's looking at the rest.
I mean, you wouldn't have known that. I mean, The Order. Would you have known what that even was? Like, I mean, obviously.
But
you
it's
would
so
have, right?
obscure that he would have guessed it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Because
maybe,
you wouldn't
yeah.
have thrown that on there if he didn't. If it,
I mean, but I did throw it on. I meant I intended to throw it on there, and then I screwed it up.
all
All right. Well,
Got it wrong.
yeah. Well, we'll just ixnay that, and it won't count against you. We'll just do 4 questions. So that one's.
I was kind of excited for the fifth.
Well, no, we'll do. Yeah, we're gonna do another one for
Okay.
each of you, so that it comes out to 4. So
Okay.
technically, if we're not gonna do the 4th one, then there's just
Okay.
the 5th one. Okay, so over to Andy, and I'll skip your 4th question.
Was it an easy one?
I wouldn't say it was like.
Can I pick between the two
It
questions?
depends.
Can I pick between the two questions?
I mean, you're gonna want this one versus
Okay,
the
go,
other one
go.
because this one's easier.
Afterwards, can you read the one that you skipped?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Go.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so we're not doing question 4, so we're gonna go to 5 for Andy.
I'm not keeping score of who got what right, so I don't.
I
even
am.
I have
Okay.
two.
You have 2 wrong.
Yes.
I
Well,
got-
you both. You're right now. You're tied at 2.
Okay.
So, final question to Andy. The Punisher was recently released on Netflix, starring John Bernthal as Frank Castle. 3 other actors have played this role on the big screen. Name 2 of them.
I can name Dolph Lundgren, Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson.
Exactly. You don't get bonus points for the 3rd one, but
That's how it works in college. No,
Did
just
you-
kidding. That's not how it works in college. I wish that was how it works in college.
Your mom goes to college.
Oh, that's real original.
God went wild.
Wait for the Joker for Andy
For
getting that
Andy
point.
winning.
All right. So,
All right. So
did I get all 3 of them right?
final question? Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I had down, so
Okay.
I didn't check any of these. Obviously, I would have gotten the order correct on the 4th question. All right, 5th and final question for Gabriel. In the monumental comic series, Why the Last Man,
Ooh.
Yorick Brown finds himself to be the last living thing on Earth with a Y chromosome, besides his pet monkey. What is that monkey's name?
Ampersand.
Correct. Ampersand is the right answer.
Yay.
yeah.
I read that and refused to read the last book because I didn't want it to end.
That's a good point. That's a good way of doing it. Good strategy. I can respect that.
I gave in eventually.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You could have just torn out the last page or something.
So who won?
Well,
Or we
actually,
tied.
you tied at 3.
So
You
we can
got-
both work
Yeah,
here.
so you guys both get to keep on
Woo!
working
Freeze
here.
frame.
So congratulations.
Come see us at JPM Comics.
You're mostly gonna say Andy, just to let you know.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you guys? Oh yeah. Did you guys want to hear the 4th question that we
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
do for Andy? This could be the tiebreaker.
No. We're good. We're good.
Andy's too nervous. He thinks he might get fired.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I feel like I have a cast on.
I knew you shouldn't have been popping those pills earlier, pillhead. All right, so this was the question.
We're
That's,
just, do it just for fun. Compete?
yeah, we'll just do it
Yeah.
for fun.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
go.
it won't have any bearing on the actual competition. Competition over. You
We
guys
tied.
tied.
Cool.
You guys get to keep working here.
Cool.
I love you both equally.
That's
like a
not
good
true.
parent.
I'm not sure who he likes more, but
It's me.
I know that's not true.
You guys are growing up. You know that that's not true, and your parents say things like that. Okay, so the question that we threw away was, the Punisher first appeared in the Marvel Comics series The Amazing Spider-Man. What issue number was this? And it was a multiple choice.
Oh,
So-
go through the multiple choice.
So multiple choice.
I was like, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Top of my head.
A, number 69. B, number 129. 129. C, number 233. Or D, Amazing Spider-Man 300.
129.
I'm gonna go with 129 too.
Yeah, no, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Because I knew like 200 is way too up there. I was like, he didn't premiere in the 80s.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
I thought you were gonna say who is he working for. I was like, the Jackal, motherfucker.
He's working for number 2. Who does number 2 work? No, that's
Stop bringing up Mike Myers.
Michael Myers.
And I'd gladly talk for hours about Michael Myers, but stop bringing up Mike Myers. That is a pretty good way to bring this thing full circle, though.
Can we talk about horror movies next?
Yes. Yes, we can. Because that's what I'm into.
It's January, time for horror talk.
Mm,
Wait, no, it's December. It's December.
it's
time
still
for horror
December.
talk.
It might be January by the time we do another one, though. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
You'll have to tune in. Are we good?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Thank you for being here, Gabriel.
No problem. I'll be here eventually, sometimes.
Mhm.
If you made it this far, thank you.
You're welcome anytime, Gabriel. Just
I hope so. I work
just
here.
wait outside the store and knock, and I'll probably open the door.
Probably.
Thank you for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you all
Bye.
next time.